The truth is, they said, in wine they let you mix, la'arev, to mix kosher barach, hard wine into soft wine, because it makes it better. Ein ma'arvim shmor yain b'yain. You're not allowed to put in the sediments of the wine into the wine. But you could give him the shmorim. The Gemara is going to explain what that means. Mishan is Arav Maim B'Yenoi, someone who got mixed water into his wine. Lo im korenu b'chanus, you can't sell it little by little in the shop. Elo im kenu dioi, only if he tells the customers that there is water mixed in. V'lo latagor, not someone who sells it to lots of people. Afal pisha dioi, even if you let him know that there's water in it. She'enoi elo l'ramos boy, because he's only buying it to cheat and to sell it as a normal wine that's not diluted. If in a place where the minhag is yes to put water into wine, no problem to mix water into the wine. A tagor, or someone who buys for many people and sells to like wholesaler, he could buy from 5 different customers, and he could put it into one storage, because people know that he's buying from a few different people. From 5 different wine places, and put it into one barrel. Only if he's not trying to put bad ones with good ones and sell it as good ones. But mixing for him is not a problem, because people know that he's buying from lots of people. Ton Rabbanon, we learned in the Brisa, if the new ones are sold 4 kilos or 4 seim for a coin, and older ones that dried already are more expensive, you only get 3 for a coin, then ma'arvim, you can't mix. Even if the new ones are more expensive, 3 for a coin, and we agreed on old ones, you can't put new ones in, even though the new ones have a higher price. Says the Brisa, you know why? You know why the new ones are higher price? Because a person wants to keep it for a longer time. They shouldn't go rotten. But this person who wanted older ones, he wants to use it right now. He doesn't want new ones. Even though that's a higher price, you're not allowed to mix it in. Ador means this means from here we learn. Then every time where it says in the Mishnah, since the Mishnah over here explains the time, is halacha here. The halacha is like that, because here we explain a reason. Omar Rav Nachman, and this are you allowed to mix hard wine and soft wine. It's somewhere where you're mixing it still, when it's still at the beginning of the process when you're pressing it. How do people mix even later on? We're saying you're only allowed to mix benagitos. Says the Gemara, people know that they do it also in a later stage, and they're moichel. It's Rav Acha who says that you're allowed to do it. If you could taste that it's mixed, something that I sell you, and you could taste that there's something different in it, and you could taste yourself, so you're allowed to do it, because you could taste before you buy it, and you could realize that they mixed it. Said the Gemara, you say you're not allowed to mix at all, and then you tell you're all allowed to give him the shmorim, the sediments. What's pshat? What does it mean, the komoidale, that he lets him know that I put in the shmorim and then it's mutter? So the Gemara can't be homing. The Keton is safer, since in the later case in the Mishnah it says lo inkorenu b'chanus, you're not allowed to sell it in the shop when it's mixed with wine, with water. Only if you let him know. We could see from there the ratio in the first case. Even if he didn't let him know about it, because only in the Sefer it says that he let him know about it. This is pshat. You're not allowed to mix sediments of wine from yesterday in the wine of today, because it's a different barrel. Rashi explains that doesn't mean especially today and yesterday, it means a different barrel, and then it ruins the wine. Not from today and yesterday barrels. Be allowed to mix it from the own, if it's from the same barrel, there's no problem. Tani Namiochi, we learned the Brisa says the same. Someone who pours wine to his friend, mix the sediments from yesterday of today. Not today's and yesterday's. If it's from the same wine, there's no problem to put in the sediments into the wine. Mission is Arab mind being a Rizalun Kuran, but Chanus Elim came with you. Rova, isolate Chamar Mechanus. So they brought him wine from the shop. Mazge, he put water in it. Tame, he tasted it. Lo Yabe Bosim, wasn't tasty. Shadra Lechanus, he sent it back to the shop. He sold it back to the shop. Omale Abaye, Varanam Nan Velo Latago Afal Pisho Idio, because he's going to cheat with it. So how could he give it back to the shop to sell it? And he might not tell people there has water in it. Omalei, so Rava told him, Mazgadidi, my mixing of water made Ayodia. People would taste straight away because I dilute it in a funny way. I put lots of water in it, and a person could straight away know that there's water diluted in it, so you can't cheat with it. The maybe the shop is going to add more wine and dilute the water, make less water, and then he's going to sell it and he's going to cheat people. If so, I can't even sell normal wine because maybe someone's going to add water in it. The only issue is to sell something that as it is, the person could cheat with it. And my wine that has so much water in it is no problem. Latin wine behind a tilu ton in the Bryce it says lemechza. Some places you put half wine, half water. L'shlish, some places you put only a third of water. Or some places l'revia only a quarter of water. Omarav ubein agita shonu. When are you allowed to add the water is only at the beginning when it's fresh, but later on you're not allowed to add water because then it ruins it. But at the beginning, some places the minig is to add. Says the Mishnah. Rabbi Yudoim lo yichalik achen voni kloyes. A person shouldn't give out, a shopkeeper should not give out free stuff to the children to make him come to him. He shouldn't give them nuts and wheat that's like fried, that's tasty. Because then when the mother sends them to buy shopping, they'll always come only to him. The Chacham they say no problem. Don't go, a person's not allowed to sell something less than the market value. He's blessed. So you have these some grisim, they have their peels, and normally a person separates at home, and here the shopkeeper separates the peels, and then he sells it for a much higher price. The Chacham say, yeah, it's mutter, no problem to do it. Chacham who say it's mutter, they agree, if you're only taking the peels on the top layer, and on the bottom where you didn't do that, that's forbidden, because that's you tricking a person. He thinks everything doesn't have peels, and really only the top doesn't have peels. You're cheating. The Gemara is going to explain it means to make look better. Not the person, a slave they selling lois a behemoth or animal lois a kelim. My time, my rabbanon. What's pshat and rabbanon that say that you're allowed to give free stuff out? The shopkeeper could say, I'm giving out nuts. That polik and you give out prunes or give out some other fruit, like I'm giving free stuff. You could also give free stuff that the kid should come to you. My time in the rabbanon, what's pshat and rabbanon that they don't say it's mutter, they say it's zochol atoiv, he's a good person. So the Gemara Samechon base Mishum de Komar v'Chletara, he's putting down since one person is going to put down the price, the wholesalers are also going to put down the price, and it's good for the market. Who is it? Rav Acha, the Tanya Rav Acha Mati B'Dova Nira. Like we said, Rav Acha is Mati B'Dova that you could taste. So also B'Dova Nira, if I sell garlic that's peeled, and I sell it for a much higher price because it's peeled more than what it costs to unpeel it, so a person sees, and he sees what it is, and he says, I'm willing to pay the price, and therefore there's no problem. We're going to see what that means. It's a behemoth. In the inner parts of the animal to blow it up and make it look thicker when you sell it in the meat shop. The insurance have also been mind put the meat in the water to make it look better meat than what it really is. What does that mean? They explained over here. They put in it, the way you do it, you give the animal type of water, meisubin, and it makes the hair of the animal stand up, and it looks better when you sell it. You brush it and make the hair stand, and the animal looks better, and a person will pay a higher price because of that. Shmuel said it's mutter to make silk edges for the coat when you sell it. Rav Yudah said it's mutter l'sichsuchi karmi, to to, one second, remember what it means. Oh, to paint drawings onto clothes that you're selling. Rabba Shorla made shordi to make canvas clothes hemp thinner. Rava Shorla Tzlumi Guri, he let it draw on the arrows that they should look nicer. Rapapa bar Shmuel Shorla Tzlumi to paint the kule baskets that he's selling. Something more of anot nana in mefarchas, and you're not allowed to make it look better. Loisa odom, loisa bema, loisa kelim. How did they let these things to be done? So the more it depends. If it's a new thing, a new basket, you're allowed to paint it and make it look nicer. But if it's an old one and you're painting it to look new, that's a problem. So the more what does it mean? How do you make a person look better? It says also Odom, you're not allowed a slave. So the more Mahi. So the more kiho, like the story that after Sabbath, this old slave, a Goisha slave, that he wanted to sell himself as a slave. Ozal, he went. He painted, he dyed his hair and his beard black to look young. Also, he came in front of Rava. Omale, Zivnim, buy me as a slave. Omale, you are Ibne Beischo. I prefer not to buy a Goisha slave, and when I need help, I'll get Jewish people to help me with the work I need to be done. And it says in the pasuk that you should help Jewish poor people. Also, the Kamei Papa, Shmuel Zabne, he bought him Yom Echad one day. Omale, Ashken Maya, can you please give me some water? I'm thirsty. Ozal, he went to slave, Chavri L'Reishu Dikne, took off the dye, and Omale, and he told Rapapa Bar Shmuel, Chazi, have a look, Dano Kashish Me'avucha, I'm older than your father, and you can't make me work hard. Korea Nafshish, Rapapa said on himself, Tzadik Mitzor Nechlot, that's Rava, who's a tzaddik, who wanted to feed the Anim, and not take a slave. He gets saved from a tzara to pay money to the slave and lose it. And someone else, me basically, says Rapapa, and I lose because I didn't follow like what Rava did. Hadron alach Azov, Bli Neder Bez Hashem, will come back to you. Azov, Baruch Hashem, we finished a very hard parak with lots of different sugyas. Now we're going to go into a sugya, a new parak, Ezo Neshech. We're going to learn about Ribis. Ribis is something that's nogea la'alocha every day in lots of different cases, as we're going to see, and we're going to start the first Mishnah. Said the Mishnah, Ezo Neshech ve'ezo tarbis. In the Torah it says, Es kasbecha lo yisiten b'neshech, u'b'marbis lo yititen echlecha. Two types of l'shoinish. Neshech is like a bite. U'marbis means making more. But here we're going to see in the Gemara explains that Ezo Neshech d'oraisa, ve'ezo marbis means midorabanan. So the Mishnah, Edo Neshech, Amal Vesela, Behe Dinorim, one seller is worth 4 dinarim. If Reuben gives Shimon and tells him, here, take one seller that's worth 4 dinar, and later on next week, in a month, in a year, pay me back 5, that's proper ribis. So Saim Chitim, or he gives him 2 saw of Chitim, B'sholosh, give me back 3. Also, Mifnei Shu Noishech, it's biting him, that's a classical case of ribis d'oraisa. Ve'edo tarbis d'rabanan. Amar be'peres, someone who adds with peres ketzad, what's the case? Lokach imenu chitim bedina zov akur. So Reuven comes to Shimon and he gives him dinner zov for a kur of chitim that he should supply him later on in the year. And yotza ashan, it's v'chein ashan, that's a price in the market, and that's mutter. Because the guy could straight away, even if he doesn't have the chitin, he could straight away buy now with that golden coin the chitin and supply it. Omdu chitin belamidinorim. Now the chitin later on, the chitin went up and they're not only worth 25 coins like they were worth until now, they went up and they were worth 30. Omaloi, so the guy who gave him the money tells the guy who's meant to supply him, tell me chita, I want to have my wheat. And I want to sell them for 30. And to buy of that wine. Omaloi, so the Shimon tells Reuben, I owe you chitim worth 30. So I look at it as if I owe you 30. And I'll supply you wine worth 30. And he doesn't have wine with him. If you'd have wine, it's mashma in the Mishnah, it's mutter, but he doesn't have wine, so it's forbidden. And we're going to see the Gemara is going to explain why is it forbidden. So the Gemara, since the Mishnah leaves Ribis D'Oraisa and tells you a case of that's only Ribis D'Rabanan, Michlal, we could see from there that D'Oraisa the neshech v'tarbis chodemil, so there's no difference between neshech and tarbis, and every time when you do neshech, you're doing tarbis. Every time you're doing tarbis, you're doing neshech. He says the Gemara, "V'akroi ksivi neshech kesef v'ribus oichel." On the Torah, in the Torah, it says the lotion of biting by money and adding by food. So the Torah, it's two different things. Says the Gemara, "V'tizbar, do you think the ike neshech below tarbis v'tarbis below the ike neshech below tarbis v'tarbis below neshech? Is it shaykh to add more to the malave without biting, or that he should bite without adding more?" And the Gemara tries to explain maybe it is shaykh. Neshech below tarbis echidomi. How you can have a case where you bite but you don't add? He lent him 100 silver copper coins, and he has to pay him back 120. At the beginning, 100 copper coins are worth a silver coin. The price went down. Now 1 silver coin is worth 120. So we say neshech ikar is biting. The chanoch he gave him 100 and he's getting 120, so he's biting. The koshokim in he's taking something that he didn't give. The tarbis leka, but he's not adding. The lesle ravche, he's not gaining anything. The danko isfei, he lent him a silver coin. The danko koshokim in, and now when he's taking back 120, that's worth only 1 silver coin. He's not gaining anything. So the shaykh a case of neshech below tarbis. So the Gemara, soif, at the end of the day, if you look at when he lent the money, Aryeh neshech v'Aryeh tarbis, his many bite and gain more because his many get 20 more. If we look when he's paying back, loy neshech, he's not biting because he's giving him back just the value of a silver coin, what he got. Ika v'loy tarbis, and he's not gaining anything because he's getting back just the value of a silver coin. The 2 and more, tarbis below neshech echidomi. What's the case of making more without biting? If you lent him 100 and you have to pay him back 100 copper coins, at the beginning 100 copper coins are worth 1 danka. Sorry, danka is a 6th. At the end, the value went up, and now you get a 5th of a coin for this 100, so value went up. A 5th is more than a 6. If you go when you lent the money, he lent him 100 for 100. By paying back time, you also bit him and also gained, because he gave him a 6th of a coin and now he's getting a 5th of a coin back. Elo Marova, says Rova, it's not shaykh a musig of gaining without biting or biting without gaining. And the reason why the Torah used these 2 lashonos, it's not because there's a difference and the shaykh one without the other one. Elo, the only reason is that the Torah wants that when you over isa of ribis, you know, over 1 lav, you also over 2 lav and 1 of neshech and 1 of tarbis, but really there's no difference in between them, and that's why when the Gemara says neshech, when the Mishnah says neshech and tarbis, the Mishnah says neshech explaining deraisa and tarbis it's explaining the rabbanon, but really deraisa they're both the same, neshech and tarbis, and every time you do neshech you do tarbis, every time you do tarbis you do neshech, and you over 2 lavim. Shkoyach, everyone should have a very blessed week, and we should be zoichet to understand the sugyas. Hashem should give us the yat yishmai to understand the sugyas of ribis, and not be over ribis, and kaim it, and we should be very matzliach b'chol ma'aseh yadeinu. Amen.